All right, Danielle, good to see you. Long time, old friend.
So nice to see you, Tad. Yeah. So I will be as succinct as possible. Since you and I chatted last, so the past year I spent investing in, spent a lot of money having people help me build out this signature program model. So I now have an 8 module um, joint care program that is videos and nutrition and hydration, but mainly focusing on a rehabilitate how you breathe, how you stand, how you walk, how you train for people who have arthritis,
Mm,
also related to like inflammatory conditions, autoimmunities involved.
okay.
Now, I went the Facebook marketing route, however, discovered so I developed arthritis at the tender age of 22.
Mm,
And when I use arthritis and recovery, like, and I lived in chronic pain coupled with autoimmunity, when I use this as my Facebook ad story, I attract people who are older than my target market who I developed the program for.
mm,
I developed the program for people who in their, 30s to mid 60s, and I'm attracting people who are in their late 60s and mid 70s because I'm realizing that a lot of folks maybe, anyways, don't need to why some people have certain sensitivities because I developed my program for people like me who are looking to, I want to train in a sustainable way, and I want it to be a long-term relationship with my body. So my specific question is, I'm at a place where I've invested a whole bunch of money in this program. There's like props, I have teas and ointment, and it's a beautiful program. I'm proud of it. And I need to connect um,
mm,
with a broader audience. And I'm realizing that a key part of it is this is a conversation about prevention. This is a conversation of, which is, I know it can be a hard sell, but I have a language inside of me about prevention being about honoring like the wisdom of our body, and our body isn't broken and our diagnoses aren't determining our future, because that's my story. And I'm really interested in your conversations around hub marketing, and
mm.
little plug, excited about your 30-day
Oh,
program.
yeah. Thank you.
So my question for you is, in the short term, I'm like, wow, should I go and focus on getting on some podcasts because I
Mhm.
like to speak about it and maybe that would be a broader audience? Or should I go talk to some chiropractors and some osteopaths? Because I don't have a website. I went the do the funnel to the private Facebook group thing, but the marketing and the ad is attracting people who are older than my program is designed for.
Okay, so there's a few thoughts there. One is, oh man, so many thoughts. One is if the ads are attracting the wrong people, then the ads may need to be changed, and just tinkered with the wording, the images, getting a lot more specific about who it's for, that kind of thing. You may also consider a kind of, is this a fit page, where the ad actually takes them to a page on your website saying, hey, just to clarify, this Facebook group is for this kind of person in this situation. Are you sure you want to join? And then they click. So you could slow it down a bit and just filter at that level to make sure that only the people who really are a fit are getting in. Or, anyone can join, but just for them to be clear that it's not going to be for them necessarily, or tailored for them. Um, yeah, so that's one thing, is the filtering. And then in terms of the hubs, yeah, I mean, all the hubs you suggested are great. Um, right. So it's like, I mean, there will be naturopathic conferences. There will be
Right.
conferences for chiropractors and events. And yes, there'll be podcasts, there'll be newsletters, all of that stuff. Any way you can be getting in touch. And then just to make sure, I mean, this is a good case study on filtering, because if we're not really explicit about who it is we're trying to reach, yeah, you get a bunch of people who are sort of 1 or 2 rings out, or sometimes 5 rings out, because they still see themselves. So if that happens, we just need more filters, and that could be changing the headline, could be um, adding a section in a sales letter like, this is not a fit for you if, or this is only for people who. So it's good feedback. We just start to notice, what's working and what's not, and who it's attracting. Um, And then the hubs thing, the hubs thing is there's so much experimentation involved. I mean, obviously one of the questions is, okay, well, who was I talking to? Who was I reaching out to? And you follow those. On this, the question of prevention, prevention is not a difficult thing to sell. It's an impossible thing to sell, meaning just everybody stop, nobody do it. Now, if they're in pain, that's not prevention. Prevention means they don't have symptoms and you're trying to stop them from having symptoms, in my mind. But if they already have symptoms and it could get worse, then that's not prevention. That's dealing with a real issue that they have. And part of the issue may be there's island A, that's the problem. Island B, that's the result they're craving. But there's also island Z, and island Z is their fear of what will happen if they don't deal with what's happening on island A, such as, I don't want to end up in a dementia ward because we see it. Oh my God, that's in my family. Oh God, it's a real fear that people have. Or I don't want to have a heart attack at 45 like my father did, and all this kind of stuff. I don't want to be like my parents were when I'm a parent. That's island Z. So there are these fears that are very real, and that's part of island A. So you can speak to that. It's like, hey, you're young, you're an athlete, you're a dancer, you're whatever, and you suddenly got this diagnosis, and it feels like this is a sentence. This means you're going to have to stop, but you don't, and here's why. Hey, here's my story, and that's extremely compelling. And then if it's that, I mean, then maybe also there are dance schools, maybe there are fitness trainers, that you reach out, because there's going to be a bunch of fitness trainers who they just they don't know anything about arthritis. They know about technique, but suddenly a client says they have arthritis, and I'm like, oh well, I guess we should just I don't know. So you could be reaching out to them, and there will be associations of fitness trainers, and you could be doing presentations on how do you work with clients who have these autoimmune conditions and flare-ups, and here's some things you can do. You can teach them some of the basics. And that's like, and if you run into somebody who's really struggling and these basics don't help enough, you can send them my way. Here's my website, and here's the funnel they can go into and the groups that they can join. Does that make sense or help? Or?
It's a good start, Tad. And I appreciate even sitting here on the call in the presence of it, thoughts started to percolate. So
oh, good.
It's an honor to be in your space, and thank you so much, my friend. So good to see you.
You too.